Bringing a baby into this world it's not a simple task. At the end of the day, it's brought to a place where we lost the connection with our body. I was the same. I lost my connection.
The challenges are only increasing, okay? Our mothers had very different lives. We have very different lives. Is it just about the lifestyle, or is there something very much underlying that we're all neglecting? That, the fertility issues are coming in, and, what exactly has caused this decline, holistic healing, holistic wellness for female bodies?
So I primarily deal with periods and fertility issues. All those taboos and everything did have certain meaning which they failed to express it to us.
That is something that I've really figured out in conversations, that the Americanization or the westernization of India has really caused these challenges.
They are afraid because they might repeat those patterns for their children. So it's basically they haven't released those past traumas themselves. So that is stuck as a pattern.
People live in two spectrums. Either they are so hell-bent on knowing everything about their body that, they'll go to doctors and they'll get test analysis, or, they'll just neglect and, procrastinate well-being and care and everything.
For that, you'll have to start listening to your body more than what the metrics and what the blood see. Those are all parameters that can help us understand, but you shouldn't be so fixated on them. Okay, the stories that I hear about pregnancy successes, so that keeps me going because I have been in that state where I have longed.
Soul School podcast, and today we have someone very special with us. Her name is Sivaranjani Ganapathy, and I'm going to call you Sivi. But Sivi, you look like a simple mom and you're a versatile person. I was just reading that you have been an aerospace engineer and now you're a holistic health practitioner. But before I just ask her why she took that pivot, I want to make people know that she has been a registered alternative practitioner, which is RMPAM in India. Apart from that, she's also a hypnobirthing educator, infant massage educator, hormone health coach, lactation counselor, chakra analyst, back remedy and cell salt practitioner, somatic womb massage instructor, and home baker. I mean, there's just so much to uncover about you, Sivaranjani. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you so much for the invite. I'm super glad to be a part of your podcast. Thank you for the invite.
So, Shivi, let's jump into it. From aerospace to holistic healing, what was the trigger?
Okay. So I didn't jump directly into holistic healing after my aerospace engineering. So there is a very common saying in India, right? So you first do an engineering degree and then you figure out what you have to do in your life, right? So I fall under that category. So I did my education and completed in 2013. And then I had to stay back home to take care of my mom because she was a cancer survivor, stage 4. So my father, he was pretty old at that point of time as well. He had multiple complications. My mom, she was, after she survived cancer, she had a lot of after effects of the chemo and radiation. So someone had to be there. My sister was living abroad. So eventually I stayed back home and I started my brand Amato because I was very passionate about baking. So I started that as a career. And in 2016, I got married and I shifted to Coimbatore. And then 2017, we started a skincare brand. So that also evolved. And after my marriage, we had difficulties in getting pregnant. So I had developed PCOS and I also was categorized under unexplained infertility and a series of events like follicular studies. And the follicular studies did not respond very well with me with the medications. And I started my body was rejecting the medications. It did not work really very well. And I had a failed IUI and then I had a miscarriage and everything one after the other. In that meantime, I lost my father. My mom was struggling even more with her after effects. So everything cumulatively fell into one place where I had to focus more on my health. And the journey of my son gave me that path to connect back with my body, to understand who truly I am. And that's when I felt like, okay, it's just nutrition and diet that we need to figure it out. And by that time, PCOS was also rising everywhere, and it made no sense for me. And there was a lot of cardiac arrests happening at that point of time as well. Even now, you hear a lot of stories, very young people experiencing cardiac arrest. My father, he passed away because of a cardiac arrest. A week later, another family friend who was only 33, he also had very similar symptoms of my father, and he collapsed as well. So everything for me at that point of time pointed towards it has to be the diet, it has to be the lifestyle. So I jumped into that. And now I started in 2019, and it's been almost 6 years. And I've completed 50 certifications in this process so far, because it kept calling. And when I stepped into holistic methods, there are so many things that felt this, we should know this, we should know this. And everything at the end of the day, it brought to a place where, like, we lost the connection with our body. I was the same. I lost my connection. But once I was able to get it back, I felt the world was much different. And I was able to see everything in a very different perspective, like how each and everything is connected beautifully in your body. And I was able to look at that, and I truly appreciated that. And I felt like it was my calling to share that to other people as well. And that's how this journey has been going on so far. I'm still digging more deeper, but I'm training myself in psychosomatics now. But I mean, it's a never-ending story of holistic health for me. So yeah, that's pretty much about me. Yeah.
But because even I practice as a mental health coach, I can tell you that the challenges are only increasing. Okay, so let's get into the why of it. Like our mothers had very different lives. We have very different lives. Is it just about the lifestyle, or is there something very much underlying that we're all neglecting? That the fertility issues are coming in, and what exactly has caused this decline in holistic healing, holistic wellness for female bodies, if we have to be very categorical?
Yeah. So like I said, the disconnect is very, very huge. Okay. So when you look at our grandma times and our mother's time, their body was all functioning really very well. But when they started imposing their rules and regulations to us, we felt like, no, this is not happening, because this doesn't sit with me logically. And when we asked for an explanation, they don't give us a logical explanation too. So which made us feel like, oh, this is a taboo. Let me just chuck it. Let me not do that. Okay. But all those things, all those taboos and everything did have certain meaning, which they failed to express it to us. I wouldn't say that everything was wasn't a taboo. There were a certain category which we could still implement in our life and bring that connection with our body, but we failed to do so. And we are in an extreme fast-paced world. There is no talk about slowing down, and a woman's body is not prepared for that, is what I would say. Only in the recent times we are running like this, right? So earlier we didn't used to have this kind of a story with our body. So our nervous system is also picking up, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? Right? So where are you going? Why is it like this? Why are you anxious all the time? Right? A lot of things that our body isn't ready to accept and move on is probably giving the triggers, the anxiety, the hyper stress, a different, extremely different lifestyle, where we've come to a situation where the West is following us and we are trying to follow the West now.
Yeah.
Right. So there is a huge shift happening.
Yes, that is something that I've really figured out in conversations, that the Americanization or the Westernization of India has really caused these challenges. But still coming back to, if it were that basic that I could just wake up and I could have a glass of water and I could just follow the lifestyle of my mom and grandmom, it wouldn't have been so important for you to do 50 certifications and have such a successful journey with all of this. So let's simplify it for our viewers and see how you practice with someone. Like, if suppose there is a client study of yours, what was the challenge she came with and what was the solution that you could give her?
Okay, so I primarily deal with periods and fertility issues. okay, because I feel that was one of my calling. So what I try to take information from them is how their lifestyle is, what kind of a dietary pattern they follow. That is the very basic stuff. Apart from that, what I do in the holistic aspect is that I try to get information if they have any kind of past trauma. So the body is wired beautifully in such a way that it tries to hide the trauma from you, but the impact of that is still in your body, right? So those impacts might lead to a lot of issues, like, say, for example, suppressed grief can be some kind of lung issue. Suppressed anger can cause liver stagnation. And then you have this inner child wounds. Obviously, you might know that, right? Inner child wounds. And then you have a lot of fear around parenting, which is actually one reason that I'm able to sense is that most of them, they don't want to bring a soul into this world because they are scared, or because they might have seen some parenting style that did not suit very well with them, or they might be affected with that, and they are afraid because they might repeat those patterns for their children. So the terminologies they use is basically like, why bring another soul into this world which is already suffering, right? So it's basically they haven't released those past traumas themselves, so that is stuck as a pattern. So we try to identify what patterns the body shows. That's where chakra analysis helped me, and now I'm grading it with psychosomatics as well to pinpoint and identify what is actually causing an issue in them. So when I describe, okay, did you have such and such an issue, or did you have such and such a trauma effects in your body, then they recollect and say, oh yes, yes, and that's why I am following such and such and patterns in my life. Okay, then they undergo therapies for that as well to rewire themselves so that they can feel prepared or they can feel comfortable in their own body. And then we bring in the diet and lifestyle aspects of it. Then the body tends to respond even much better, right? So I have a lot of clients. For example, there was one client who had endometriosis condition, and she was actually trying for a baby for more than 2 years. Okay, and everywhere she went, they said that no, we have to go for ART treatments for you. There is no other go because your endometriosis is not getting controlled, and the modern medicine did not suit very well with her as well. And then when she approached me, we found out her root cause were two things. One was that a lot of suppression that happened in her in her childhood, and the second thing was that she had a very high difficulty in letting go of things. So we started working on those two processes. See, endometriosis and constipation go hand in hand most of the time, and constipation aggravates this issue in the body as well. So this is what we see in the holistic aspect. Okay, so when we try to get the constipation out from the body will start processing things a little bit better. Okay, we simultaneously did some body work. We worked on the constipation issue. She was no longer constipated after a certain point of time. She tried fiber, she tried water, but in spite of that, if nothing is working in the body, then we definitely have to look at the emotional aspect. What is truly happening there? Why is the body not able to let go? Right? So when we started digging more on that, we found the solution. And down the line, in 6 to 7 months, we were able to see her body change the pattern from being an estrogen dominant to more of a balanced body. She eventually got pregnant naturally, and then she has a son who's like 2 years now. So this is one story that there are multiple stories like this where people, they have heard a lot about abuses, or they had personally gone through abuses which was still stuck in their body. The problem with us is that I think we've normalized a lot of things, right? So this is normal. Period pain is normal, right? So, and we are scared of white discharges, where it is a sign from the body trying to say that, hey, I am in your ovulatory period. Please look at me. If you want baby, this is the time. Okay, so we've lost that kind of a control. So whatever discharge we see, we don't know, oh, I have infection. Okay, it's not that, right? So there is a different category of discharge for infection and the cervix mucus for getting pregnant. So there is a huge difference between that. We don't have basic understanding of our own body. That is one big problem. And we think that the male and the female are the same in terms of energy and as how the body functions. That's also something that we need to change. We aren't, we are not supposed to be. Our energies are different, and our way of working is entirely different as well. So what may work for a male may not work for a female. What may work for you may not work for me as well, because we both are different. Our lifestyles are different. Our environment is different. Our work styles are different. So we need to start embracing who truly we are, right? So we digging more into yourself can give you those answers. So one example I can give you is study about human design. Okay, so there's one aspect called as human design, where you give in your birth details, you'll be able to get a chart. It's not like astrology where it doesn't predict things for you, but it'll just give information who you are truly as a person, like what kind of a person you are, which environment works for you, what kind of food patterns might work for you, what kind of talents you actually can build, or you have the skill. All these informations can give you a very good understanding of who truly you are. And when you start working based on that, your life will definitely change.
Shivi, I have seen that people live in two spectrums. Either they are so hell bent on knowing everything about their body that, they'll go to doctors and they'll get test analysis and they'll have smartwatch metrics and every single thing. Or, they'll just neglect and, they'll just procrastinate well being and care and everything. So, where is it that you bring the structure? Because, there is an information overload that we know when it comes to
Yes.
mental health and holistic
Yes.
healing. There is so much of internet information, but then what makes it important for you and me to step in and, be able to help people? Because sometimes they may think that, okay, you're just giving us beliefs, but, how can those affirmations or, how can the hand holding of a coach, be different
Mhm.
than people trying to navigate this journey themselves?
Yeah, see, I would say get your basics straight. That is sufficient. Overload of information is definitely something that I won't suggest. Okay, so if you know how food is going to react to your body, then you listen to your body. Okay, I might be comfortable having 4 slices of pineapple, while you can have just like 1 or 2 pieces of pineapple, right? So for that, you'll have to start listening to your body more than what the metrics and what the blood. See, those are all parameters that can help us understand, but you shouldn't be like so fixated on them, right? So especially what I have seen is that blood reports is the last place where an issue in the body is going to reflect. Okay,
Hmm.
but before that, your body will start giving you the clues.
Hmm.
Okay, the problem is that since we are not attached with our body, we don't listen to our body, we don't feel that, oh, something is missing here. Okay, why am I feeling this way? Okay, so all these aspects we tend to miss out. And only when the issue is aggravated and it is at its peak, then we resort to like solutions. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because you don't have much time in your hand. The issue is already aggravated. So you don't have time to experiment in other streams as well, right? So that gives a huge I think that's a huge problem. But I would say that getting the basic information about yourself is sufficient. That's more than enough. Okay, neglecting is entirely different. Why are you neglecting? If you're procrastinating, procrastination is basically a combination of issues with letting go and grief together. Okay, so what is stopping you there? Why are you procrastinating? Are you afraid to go into that space? Because did you have someone who lost their life because of this, or did you hear horrible stories related to health issues and everything? So are you jammed in that part? Then you work on that in terms of releasing those things in your body as well. So that can also give you the parts in the center, not on the left or the right. So you can have a middle line here, and you can walk in this without being agitated by the left or right as well. So, and that's where like coaches like you and me can help you, because we tend to go in depth of what is there and what not is there. And what information a client needs, we will be able to provide it. That much information is fine. See, I get a lot of people telling that I'm not being heard, I'm not being seen. Okay, so we can spend extra time with them, right? So my consultations are 1 hour, sometimes it goes up to like 1.5 hours. So where they can just rant, they can just talk, and in that process we also get information why they're feeling this way as well, right? And we'll be able to guide them. Okay, so this will not be sufficient for you, probably try this one. So that's where coaches actually come into play. So they go hand in hand with your main care provider. It's not that just focus on this person and let go of your care provider. No, it has to be like an integrated approach only. Okay, so you need everything, but you need in the right dosages, I would say. So Go with your coach as well, listen to your care provider as well, combine both together and see what works the best for you. That would be better approach, I would say. An integrated approach is something that we all miss out. And once that comes into play, I think it makes life much easier.
So, Sivi, if I have to, talk about Gen Z, I mean, this generation wants everything in quick bites. So,
Yeah.
what are the five first things that, you do with the client if they're very fidgety or impatient that, I want these results, or, it's better that I'll just go to doctor and pop a pill?
Yeah. Yeah. I can't force something into a person. So I just tell them, see, these are the options. I'm putting it on the table. It's up to you if you want to grab or not. So that particular generation, they have very heightened nervous system. So we need to give them tools and equip them to just try to calm themselves a little bit down. They have their boundaries really very strong. So no matter how much I'm going to convince a person from Gen Z, it's not that, oh, just because Sivi said, I'm going to do it. No, they are never convinced like that. They should feel it. So I have to talk in such a way that they feel heard and they feel seen. They feel validated. Okay, so all these terminologies was new to me because we grew up in the 90s, and these things were never in picture, right? But whereas these people, I feel so proud sometimes, like, see, they have everything on point. They don't have to undergo the damages that we had to undergo, right? So it is good in a way, but I would say that too much of neglecting and saying that, oh, it's all boomer topic is also something that is not encouraged. Okay, so they also need to find the balance. So the world is moving fast. Their body has adapted to that fastness. Okay, so we should also try to cope up in such a way that they are made feel seen and validated, and give them the tools to calm themselves first, to pause and see things around them. Okay, once they start doing it, they'll be able to pick patterns for themselves as well. And then eventually they'll, okay, this is good for me, this is bad for me. They make the decision. You can't just go keep telling that this is bad for you, please don't do. They'll never listen, right? You'll have to put everything in table to them. Pick. You need to pick. This is good, this is bad, this is the explanation for bad, this is the explanation for good. You pick what you want to do with your own body. That's the only approach I have, or at least that works for me at this moment to take things. And like you mentioned, everything is fast, so they need fast solution because they can't waste time, right? But unfortunately, when you look at the holistic aspect of a body, slowness is something that is very important. So once they start embracing it, they will be able to find solutions. But for that, we need to tone down their nervous system, to make them pause and see things around them, which will actually help them.
No, that is such an important point, that slowness is something that's missing in this generation. But then,
Yeah.
Sivi, coming back to you, we started with your journey, and I want to, learn from your experience and how you take care of yourself, because you're a mother, you're a baker, and as well as you're a holistic healing coach. And you and I can resonate that, whenever we coach people, there is a pedestal and there is so many high expectations. And,
Yes.
that there is, of course, we get into a comparison trap as well. So how is it that, you slow yourself down and you make sense of, who you actually are and what you want to be as a healer? How
Okay.
do you keep yourself sane?
Okay. In the early stages, I used to burn out myself a lot. Okay. So, but now what I've understood is that, see, I took a break in Instagram for almost 8 months. So, having a huge amount of followers for which I took a lot of effort to build it and everything. But now, after taking the break, I feel really very nice and calm. I'm able to picture, like, okay, this is not me. This is not how I want to. So if I'm sitting with Gauri today and talking, I should be mindful about what I'm talking. My mind should be here, and whatever I speak should resonate with the people. So for that, I should be present here, right? That presence did not come from the burnout stage. So I'll be very honest, I take a lot of breaks. okay, to recalibrate myself, to realign myself. So that's why you might see me active, very active for a particular period of time. And then I'll go into a hibernation mode. And then I'll come back, I'll be very extremely active, and then I'll go back into a hibernation mode. So the one reason I wanted to get out of Instagram was also that I wanted to prepare myself to be back into that space. So I started practicing a lot of energy work and everything. And that space was too loud for me, and I couldn't be there. And it was like whenever I went inside it, my body was like, it started going like this. And I was like, no, this is not me. I don't want to be this agitated person when I'm talking to someone, doing things in hurry. I will not be doing my work 100%, right? And a client who's coming to me with the trust that I'll be able to help them, they want me hyper focused on them. For that, I should be present. So this stream is not helping me. So I quit. I took a break. I wouldn't say quit. I took a break from that. And then I think it's been like 7 months since I took a break. And I built the community in WhatsApp, which became more interconnected with all of us. And we felt seen and validated with each other. Okay, so that's how I felt like I shouldn't be embracing this alone. Let me just pull the like-minded people who want to embrace the slowness as well. So it's an open thing in the group that, see, if someone puts a question, if you are available, you answer. You don't chuck things down and then you make yourself available to answer that. It can wait. If it's not if someone is not dying, it can wait. Okay, so that's how I started telling people things as well. So don't go into this agitated mode to reply. Give a break, pause, and then reply in case if there is anything. And the whole community works in the same way. If someone doesn't answer anything, they just gently nudge it again, saying that, hey, you haven't answered that, please answer this. Okay, so we are just trying to collectively embrace this slowness in our lives as well, and that has made a huge change. So if I'm going, if I mean, I'll definitely be coming back. But when I come back, I think I would be looking Instagram in an entirely different way. And my approach towards that platform will definitely be extremely different, because I love this calmness, I love this silence. So definitely I take a lot of breaks, because there is too much of job for me to be done in and around the family and my work. So I need those breaks for me. And I'm not ashamed to take them. My cup has to be full before I pour it. So, and I learned that in a very hard way. So I take a lot of breaks. Even though people in social media say that you're not supposed to do that, you have to be there available 24/7. You'll have to reply to a comment. Immediately you'll have to reply to a message. Only then you'll be seen and grown. I've come to a place where, like, if someone has to reach me, they will reach me no matter what. The divine will do its own path. So I need not throw myself outside, because when I was throwing myself outside, I did not reach a lot of people. But when I went inside this cocoon, I felt a lot of people who aligned with my energy, who wanted to talk to me and everything. They eventually came out, even though if I was there on social media or not, they eventually reached out to me. So I have this as my prayer every single day. I start telling that if someone needs to reach me, please make them reach me. That's it. Yeah, because I'm just a messenger of whatever is supposed to happen, right? So if you want me to be the messenger, I'm happy to do that, but bring them in spite of all the things that is happening around me. Yeah.
That is such an important message for every healer who's watching this, Sivi. And what still keeps you going? Because there are so many people who might get fidgety with all the options that they have, or all the challenges of social media, or your own responsibilities. But what is it that despite taking breaks and coming back and calmly doing this, you might have your own anxieties? So
Yes.
and still you have reached the stage. So what is it that has brought you till here? Like, maybe it is your biggest triumph story. So what is it that, keeps you going?
Okay, the stories that I hear about the pregnancy successes, so that keeps me going. Okay, that because I have been in that state where I have longed for a baby. Bringing a baby into this world it's not a simple task. Okay, there are like multiple things involved. We think that is only diet, lifestyle. No, it's not. It's just like 10-20% of what you do. And there is a huge cosmic play which also is a part when you bring in a soul into this world. So, and it led to a lot of thought process, a lot of discussions around this topic. But eventually, something that keeps me going are those messages where when I get that, hey, I'm pregnant. It finally happened. Okay. When I look at that word finally, that word, when I look at that word itself, I'll be able to feel a sense of peace. Okay. So that person is able to achieve whatever they want to do. And at the same time, when someone says that I had my period today, it wasn't painful at all. Okay, so these are the messages that keeps me going. Or when someone says that a huge issue in the family happened, but I stayed calm. Okay, so those teeny tiny phrases actually keeps me going. I think these are my triumphs. Okay, so and one thing, like when you mentioned that it's very competitive outside, we feel that it is very competitive outside, but I think we have to move away from that thought that it is competitive. And you have to be, we also have this inner child wound that tends to come out most often, which is not being seen. Okay. And I think every creator basically has that a little bit in them. This urge to be seen, the urge to be validated. And I think when you work on that as well, a creator can create whatever they want to do without any agitation, without any anxiety, and you don't worry about the metrics. Okay. So what is meant for you will definitely happen no matter what. No one can stop what is going to reach me. No one can stop what is going to reach you. Okay. So it's just a matter of time. That's it. Okay. So if you throw in your efforts, okay, do it with 100% heart and soul into it, but don't compare. And this comparison basically left me when I started working on my inner child, this need for being seen and the need for being validated for what I was, because I had that as a huge inner child wound. Okay. So I was there in the family, but then it was always like, oh, she's there. That's it. Okay. So, but I was like, look at me. I'm here. Okay. And I used to do a lot of things to make people see me. Okay. And even I still do that sometime now. And then it'll be like, no, I'm going back to the pattern. Okay. So that awareness should be there. And when you get away from the metrics, I think that makes a huge difference as well. And like I said, these affirmations of what will reach me will definitely reach me no matter what. Let me just keep doing what I'm supposed to do in this world. Whatever has to flow will flow in its own way. Your journey is not mine. My journey is not yours. So there's no point in comparing.
And Sivi, one important aspect for every healer is to, have a sounding board. So who is your sounding board? Who makes you believe that, you don't have to do this alone?
My husband. That guy has made a huge shift in me. Okay. I am never this calm, composed person. I was always like very agitated, very anxious. I was an introvert. Okay. And I never liked to be like thrown, but I craved that. Okay. Like thrown into center, but I craved that because I wanted to be seen. Okay. I am a Leo. Okay. So basically, all the aspects of the Leo, but I didn't fit the pattern of a Leo. Okay. And I was not doing a lot of things that resonated with me. I was trying to people please a lot of people. And I blindly followed a lot of rituals and all these things. So I think my husband was the one who broke the pattern. And then I was able to change myself. And this slowly happened ever since 2010. Okay. It's been 15 years and we slowly learning together. Okay. And my son and my daughter, they both wide opened the door for two other things. So my son helps me connect back with my body, understand what I am, truly a person I am. And my daughter, I still don't know how to comprehend her journey towards me, because whatever I learned with my son, I implemented and I got my daughter. Okay, in terms of physical aspects and everything, she is like, okay, now you've learned the diet, lifestyle, and all these things. Now let's open the door for spirituality and trauma work, energy work for you. And now I've been doing that. And her journey towards me helped me understand that I should be taking pauses from time to time to recalibrate myself, to realign with whatever resonates with me, and it doesn't sit with me, I have to let go of those things. Okay, so she has taught me a lot of terminologies after she's here, and I'm still continuing my journey with whatever lessons these two souls have also brought. And collectively, you see, you don't randomly be picked and put as a family together. Each you learn each and everything from each one of them, right? So I think I'm just trying to embrace those lessons, and trying to bake. I mean, like, make myself a better person every single day. I
Oh,
wouldn't say that I've had it all.
I love when you say that, you're baking a life. You're not just making a life, you're baking a life because, it's so important to put in the right ingredients. You've actually
Yeah.
put in that work, put in that patience because taking out that cake after a minute is going to make it oozy, but you need to put
Yes.
that 30 minutes, which is why I think this is the message I can sum up for the viewers who have been watching, that you have to be very calm with your body, you have to slow down, and you have to stop being the man, and
Yeah.
stop searching for those external sources, the quick fixes. And whenever you feel that you need to actually have a soul alignment and somebody who understands you, I think Sivi is your person. There was so much I learned from you, Sivi, today. You were putting your baby to sleep and still you were able to make it, and your resilience, your calm, and that embrace of constant security in yourself. That is something that I think people can learn from you in this journey. And I am sure that you will have greater breakthroughs, which you will be able to share with us the next time we connect on this podcast. Thank you so much for
Definitely.
doing this with us, and keep watching the Soul School for more such content.
Thank you so much. Yeah.